It's August, and I know holiday movies are a thing, but Easter Sunday in August instead of April, a little weird to be fairly honest. But how's the movie? Let's find out next. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Movie Emporium's movie review of Easter Sunday, the newest film from director Chandrasekhar. So, Easter Sunday is a film that stars Joe Coy, who is a pretty big comedian. He's an individual that in this movie is trying to secure a pilot for a TV series. He is known as the beer guy, plus he does stand up, and he is struggling because they want him to do a certain thing that might be a little bit racist, and he's struggling with his son, who is kind of not wanting to be around him. Well, he basically is, in essence, like a guilt trip, I guess you could say, to come home for Easter, which is in, of course, Dale City in California, and he brings his son along to basically spend Easter Sunday, and because this is August, of course, Easter is during August, in essence, to, have spend a couple days with the family, and in the process, something happens where one of the individuals does something really stupid, and is in trouble with certain, gangster individuals, and yeah, it becomes a kind of wacky comedy with a family there having issues, and then there's another plot thrown into the mix. So that's kind of the story. Is kind of to show the strengths and kind of show off who Joe Coy is to the people who don't know who he is, like myself. And yeah, it's a broad comedy similar to like Crazy Rich Asians in a lot of respect. So I'm just gonna come out straight and say I don't know who Joe Coy is. I don't know him as a comedian. I've never listened to any of his stand-up, so I don't know anything about him, to be fairly honest. Easter Sunday was one of those films where I heard about it, and it was a film that kind of looked funny. Tia Carrere's in this movie. It's about a Filipino family who are dealing with some crazy antics, and yeah, it was a movie that it was like, okay, cool, I'll go see it. Maybe I'll enjoy it. Maybe it'll be funny. Maybe it'll be like Crazy Rich Asians, which deals with a family you don't see a lot of times in movies, and it'll be like silly, over the top, and insane, but it'll also have a lot of heart to it. And it's the second film premiering this weekend that has Eva Noblezada in it, which is kind of interesting. She was also in Luck, so her being in two movies at once is always an interesting experience, to be fairly honest, because I didn't know that before I watched this film and not watched Luck. But it was a movie that like I said, I didn't watch the trailer. I didn't really know much about it, so I give it the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it'll be funny. And so, for my honest review of this movie, and you can kind of tell by my demeanor, this is a pretty terrible movie. I really didn't like this at all. I appreciate that it's dealing with another culture, a Filipino family, but the dynamic of the family and the arguments that go on, and the fact that it is more of like a stand-up piece for Joe Coy and his comedy, it just doesn't work. I don't feel any connection between him and his son in this movie. The Eva Noblezada character really feels out of place. Bad guys feel out of place. It feels like they needed to add something to punch up the story, and it just doesn't work. Having bad guys in this movie because your cousin does something really stupid, it really feels like they needed something more, and I would have just loved to see more of this family get more kind of, I would say, structure and more dimension to them, because they really are stereotypes, which is a major problem. They don't feel fully fleshed out. I think the mom really feels like a really just angry individual throughout the entire movie, and it's the same thing with Tia Carrere's character. It just feels like they're just there to be bickering sisters, and maybe that's what it needs. I don't know. And like I said, people were laughing. But I've seen much better films that deal with family dynamics. I've seen much better films that are directed that deal with, like, Hollywoodization of a character and what they have to deal with. Throwing the director Jay Chandrasekhar, throwing himself into the mix as the agent. What he does is really stupid. I just think in the end, having a director like that, who is known for doing like Broken Lizard stuff, come out, and then he did like I said, he did Dukes of Hazzard, which was like a little racist. And to be fairly honest, I guess that whole series is kind of racist. And having this be kind of just as shallow and as one note and as kind of paper thin characters, not really doing much of anything that really seems interesting, to be fairly honest, is just it really is a problem. And once again, this movie just may not be for me. It may not be for my sensibilities when it comes to comedies and how comedies are portrayed. And I do appreciate that this movie is at least tempting to show a different side to a different culture, but they deserve more. When you throw, Lou Diamond Phillips in this movie as kind of the surprise guest, but he's in the credits, and how he plays out, it just feels like he needed work, to be fairly honest. And Lou Diamond Phillips is a much better actor than he is, being allowed to portray in here. He's just a guy looking for, you know, Manny Pacquiao's gloves and stuff like that. And it just, this movie's infuriating. It really is. It's so problematic. It's so desperate for attention and comedy. It's using a culture to write paper thin characters. And, you know, as much as I wanted to love this movie, I couldn't find myself on board, unfortunately. And it's a sad situation. I expected more, and maybe Joe Coy is much funnier than what he's letting on in this movie. But when you have forced stereotypes and you have forced paper thin storyline making, it's bad. So, and on top of that, to leave it there is not very original. So with that said, that's kind of be where I leave this review for Easter Sunday. I wish for more. I wish more originality, but it isn't there. So anyways, with that said, that is my take on Easter Sunday. Thank you so much for watching. Comments below. Are you interested in seeing this movie? What do you think of Joe Coy as a comedian? Do you think he's funny? If you do, you might actually enjoy this movie. But otherwise, let me know in the comments. But if you like what you see on this channel, hit the subscribe button to join Movie Emporium. Hit that notification bell at top to find what's coming next. If you like this video, awesome. Hit that like button. And as always, we'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.